I'm just looking through the mods real fast. I was gonna go over my mods. I haven't done that in a while. I think I'm fairly satisfied with the mod setup I have. Yeah. So don't download my break. There's no telling what this is. Don't download this. Okay. Anyway, oh, this is one of his new. He does little followers all the time. I say he. Whoever Imperial Agent is, they do. Little follower mods a lot. They do some other cool mods too, but that kind of they're pretty good, simple, small follower mods, so that you can just grab a follower and go. It's kind of nice. And there's lots to choose from, so you can usually find something you like. I went crazy one time and I tried to download all the little follower mods, and that's when I found out we had a max of 150 and on the Xbox here, and that gave me issues. As you could tell, I was looking at Dark Ages earlier. I keep looking at the graphical mods, but they're all so big and they take up so much space. And I'll show you here the way I do my mods. I only have about, let's see, I have about a gig free. Not really, just over 900 megabytes free. And out of that, really, I know that like 40 of that is not usable because it never is. And it has nothing to do with ghost space. If I totally blow everything away and refill it back up, there's about 35 to 40 meg that I'll never be able to use. It's just the way it happens every time. Anyway, so going over now, I have about 112. I think I have 112 mods in this list. I'm going through this real fast because I want to show you something at the bottom. But I really only use probably 111. I only use this one on rare occasions to restore vanilla settings if I actually do something that causes me an issue. And I would do this just to try to reset things back if possible. It doesn't fix everything. Sometimes if you don't know what the problem is, you don't know how to fix it. So that happens. Anyway, so this first one here, this is the standard, and it's standard for me. I always use it. You don't have to use it. You could cut these two out of your game, out of your modded game, and that would give you some extra space. But it fixes a lot of glitches, and then there's some mods that won't work without it. So it's price you pay. This is just a little quest mod, supposed to make the Namira quest a little nicer so that you don't have to be too cruel. Excuse me, I'm having a little coffee while we're doing this here. So this mod, if you read it, you can ignore the first part. I don't know. They had this up a year or two ago, and then they took it down because I think people said it didn't work. And the thing is, it depends on how much, like my Xbox can only generate so many NPCs in my game. If I overfill my game with mods that add NPCs, eventually I'm going to hit that limit, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to hit that limit, and my game's going to crash. Now, when I tried this last year, I tried this mod. I was also doing mods like Divine Cities, I think I tried maybe Open Cities, and I think both of those edit things and mess with pathing, and I think that's why I couldn't use this. But I knew it wasn't this mod's fault. I was pretty sure that it was other things that I was doing. So I had dropped using it. Now, I brought it back recently because I'm not doing any of those other things, and I thought, well, I'll try it. And so far, it seems to be working okay. So, and it just adds population. They originally made it for the PS4, but it doesn't have any external assets or anything, and they just ported it over for Xbox users too. So this is the Parthenax thing, so you don't have to kill Parthenax if you don't want to. And so the Blades won't hate you, and the Greybeards won't hate you. It's one of those dumb choices in the game. I don't kill Parthenax because I feel like he's kind of rehabilitated himself. So the Blades always end up hating me, and I always think that's really dumb, but whatever. You know, because I'm supposed to be the Dragonborn, they're supposed to care about me. Anyway, so this eliminates that. This Missives, it just gives you a bunch of little quests to, some of them are just like gathering quests, but some of them are radiant quests out to different little dungeons. And I like that because sometimes if I just want to go kill stuff and maybe do like little miscellaneous quests, this is just a bunch of little miscellaneous quests. Sky HUD. This is an Oblivion style HUD. And it puts, if you look at my latest streams and videos, you'll see that I'm using that all the time now. And it puts everything. It puts all the HUD things low along your screen, and it makes them reasonably small. And they look nice, so it leaves more of your screen open for you to see the world. This is a simple little patch, really, that just allows you to return to Skuldolphin after you've gone and done the end of the main quest and you've killed Alduin and you've been to Sovngarde. This just allows you to return to Skuldolphin if you wanted. I haven't done it yet. I just keeping that for the availability. So this is Boethia for good guys. Again, this allows you to do that quest a little nicer. This is discovered map marker. Okay. The explanation for this isn't so good, so I just had to try it. What this does is it tries to, well, it mainly works. It puts all the city map markers on your map so that they're discovered, even though you haven't been there. It also puts all the wooded stones, all the standing stones, puts all them on your map so that you can fast travel to them. And it does all the dragon altars, or the mountaintops, the dragon walls. It does all them as well. However, since I did this mid-game, one of my dragon ones is still basically undiscovered. I think it's because I have a quest to get there, and this mod, if it's already set for a quest, this mod's not going to affect it. So one dragon place I'll have to go find the hard way, but the rest of them I'll be able to fast travel to if I want to. So I don't consider that to be a bad thing. If I had this in at the beginning of my game, everything would have been discovered right away, which would have been perfect. Cutting room floor. All this does is the cutting room floor up here. For some reason, this changes the look of the mage armor, the bubble that you get. It changes the look of it, and it looks kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of odd. And if you don't like that look and you want the original look back, you just use this little alteration here, and it will put it back. I like the cutting room floor myself, but I did not like the alteration change either, so it's the, Anyway, so I like that. I've tested this out at least one time. The Stones of Baranzia quest marker. Once you get to where Vex will actually give you the real quest, she'll actually talk to you. You have to be a member of the Thieves Guild and everything. Then these markers will be put on your map, and you can go find all the stones. There might be one exception. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I think it mentions one exception. Just simple mods. Somewhere it mentioned. Maybe I read it online. But anyway, there was one of these stones that it said if you didn't see the marker for, it's in somewhere, and I forget where that is. Of course, maybe it's been updated, because this says... This seems to think this doesn't say that anymore. So, it didn't give me any trouble, though. I've not had any trouble with it, so... Dragonborn delayed so far. If you're watching my streams of the new Crom, since I restarted that game, the Dragonborn has not started. And it shouldn't start until we complete Dragon Slayer, according to this. So this is fine. I don't have any trouble with that. I want it to be delayed. I don't want it to start right off. This, it seems to be helping. I don't have as much friendly fire issues, but people have to like you already. If you're the stranger in town and you're fighting a dragon right outside the gate of Riften, and you accidentally hit a guard, they're still going to try to arrest you. I had that happen. So it does work somewhat if they already, like if you're the Thane of the town and everything already. But, you know, at that point, I really don't even need it. I could get rid of it, but it's so little, it doesn't really bother anything. And this is Dawnguard, starts at level, this one I chose is level 40. There's another one you can do that starts at level 25. I really wanted to start late in the game, because I think it'll be much better, more fun, you know. I think everybody will be more leveled. It'll just be a better time. Display enhancements, this is, I'll tell you what I use it for. There's more you can do with it, but because you can change your field of vision with it. But I use it primarily to adjust the saturation, the light, and the contrast, and mostly saturation and contrast. I have the light mainly set in my display settings. I have everything set on a certain brightness. If I add to it through display enhancements, it gets too bright and hurts my eyes. But you could not use that, and you could use display enhancements. I did test that out, and it ends up working the same either way. So I just took the cheap, easy way out, I guess. This is free camera. Honestly, I've messed around with this just a little bit. It's supposed to allow you to get around and change your angles to take pictures better. I'm just not that good of a picture taker, and I just don't do it that often. So I'm not very learned on it. I'm just not very experienced with it. There is another mod that I think is similar called Dynamic Camera, and I have not played around with it either. At least this one I tested for a few minutes. But okay, this is dynamically disable eye adaptation, and it also disables the bloom. Now, depending on how you look at it, some people do not like the eye adaptation. I'm not exactly sure why. I leave that enabled. I leave it on, because if I turn that off, every now and then I'll get into a spot where I'm leaving a light area to a dark area and back to a light area, and everything just stays really dark. But if you have that enabled, it will adjust for you as you transition from light to dark to light to dark. And some people must find that annoying for some reason. For me, I don't find that one annoying. The bloom, though, is basically just blur. Bloom is just basically blur. And I do turn that off because I just looked at the difference, and I really didn't see that blurring everything really made it much better. So I didn't think it made it better at all, honestly. For my eyes, it just didn't make sense, so I turned that off. So that's the two things you get to do with that mod. If you don't care about those things, I would suggest just don't even get that mod. If you don't care about taking pictures, don't get that mod. If you don't want to change the way your game looks that much, I wouldn't get display enhancements either. I think most people, if they play around with it, will like some of the things they can do with it. But if you don't, I mean, if you like the normal way Skyrim looks, then you don't need that either. Skyrim Legendary Weathers. This is the only weather mod I use because it doesn't add lens flare. I hate lens flare. It also says right here on it, God rays are deliberately disabled, which I also appreciate. I don't like God rays, and I don't want lens flare. Lens flare just gives me a headache, and God rays, well, I know they're trying to simulate a certain lighting effect in real life. In the game, to me, it doesn't really look that way. It just looks like they're putting some cruddy fog up. You know what I mean? I mean, they're just kind of obscuring things, and I don't like the look of it. It just makes me have to struggle to see better. And that may just be me. I do have to wear glasses and stuff, so depending on you, it might be fine. Like I said, this is the only weather mod I use. All the others that I've seen always add a lens flare. And I really wanted to find a mod to just disable lens flare and use some of the other weather mods. But in the end, this was my compromise because there's no Skyrim mod to disable lens flare anymore. So, at least not for the Xbox. This is Sarcastic Dragons, Dynamic Moons. These are cool. You'll see me look up, and I like to look at the moon when I'm wandering around at night, and I think it's nice. There's different ones. There's like one that's very apocalypse-like. If you think of DC not Apocalypse, Dark Side, and the planet Apocalypse, it's kind of, maybe it's supposed to be Dwemer based, but it just makes me think of Dark Side's Apocalypse or something. And there's some different ones. They look pretty cool. Amazing follower tweaks. If you want to have more than one follower, this is the way to go. There's a booster for it so that you can have even more followers. After my initial rush and thrill of having bunches of followers, I've kind of come back to earth. I really like to have one follower. Sometimes two, but mainly one. And the reason I use this is that I can actually give them the spells I want them to have. They can be my healer, and I can control how they act more. So I do use that for that purpose. And it's very good, though. I mean, you can have, even if you just use this, you can have up to 5 followers at a time. I used to do that a lot. Pardon me. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of followers. Pardon me. I'm adjusting the jack here on the mic. Hold on. Okay, so I'll quit messing with that. So for the amazing follower tweaks, like I said, it's good for multiple followers. Nothing wrong with that. Enhance Mighty Dragons. This is my only dragon mod, and it makes the dragons really nice and tough. They have a lot of health. They do a lot of damage. If you don't pay attention, sometimes the fire dragon will just burn you to a crisp before you realize what's going on. And that may sound bad, and maybe it is in a way, but I mean, it just makes the dragons a lot tougher. Unfortunately, lately I've been running into a lot of dragons disarming me, so I've started carrying extra weapons. But that's just me. My home is your home. It allows you to set home for your followers. No matter how many separate followers you have, more than AFT will support. But you can tell them to be at your custom home, your modded home, or be at Bree's home. And whenever you come back there, if you've dismissed them, all your dismissed followers will be there if you've told them to make that their home. Otherwise, they'll go back to their original spot like you're used to. This is the goodies chest. This has 2 chests, actually. The goodies chest is just some crazy things that you can play with. You can turn people into mannequins. You can do all kinds of stuff. I suggest before you play with those items that you make a save of your game and then just go crazy and have some fun, and then blow that away when you're done. Just reload your game. The other chest is spawn any NPC. I don't know if it's truly any NPC, but it's a lot of the NPCs. There might be a few that are on that list, but it's a lot. And that's pretty cool. Gives you a spell, and once you have that spell, you have it always. You can always call that person. I had some issues one time, I think. In the mod, it actually, in one of the books in the mod, in the chest, it actually tries to tell you about the mod. And it says that the character you're summoning is actually the character in the game, and it's not a copy. So, for the most part, I believe that is true, but there was one time where maybe I had made a copy, though. Anyway, I think if you make a copy, then it confuses the game, and you may be calling both. Because I have actually used it to make a copy of someone, so I could have them as a follower. I did that with Astrid, I think, and then I did the Dark Brotherhood quest, and I would have her with me, and I could just turn my quest into her right there. So that was a good part. The bad part was, no, that wasn't bad. That was another good part. Another good part was when she died and got burned to a crisp. The clone, the copy of her I had, did not burn and did not get burned up. So, because if you try to res her, you can res her with the cheat resurrect spell, but she'll still be burned up and look pretty hard actually. So anyway, though, this is an interesting little mod. You can have some fun with it, and there's some different things because of the spawn any PC. It'll allow you to grab a PC and maybe make a copy of them and use them however you want, but still have that PC back in the world where they normally are, or have that NPC back in the world. Tailor's Measure. This just allows you to change anyone's clothes. It gives you a little dialogue option. And I say anyone, almost everyone, but there might be a few exceptions, but almost everyone will have the little dialogue option. And they'll change into whatever outfit you tell them to change into. And it works. I've used it on multiple occasions for different things. A lot of times the beggars, I give them better clothes, at least farm clothes or something. Okay, so the Call Armies chest, this one allows you, this is another something just to play around with. This allows you to call up armies of dragons and, oh, I forget what all's in that chest. I could show you in the game, but it allows you to call up a bunch of armies and do craziness. And it's just fun. It's something, again, save your game. Take those spells, go like outside of town. I think if you do it, I mean, I have done it, and I've got an old, I think I've got an old video or two out there on YouTube where I actually called up a bunch of armies in Dragon's Reach. And then I think I went to like Solitude and called up a bunch, I just went around Skyrim to the different towns and called up armies for fun, It was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do that again one day when I'm bored for just the fun of it. Again, just something fun to do. You may have practical uses for that I haven't bothered to even try to think of because I just thought it was fun. Plus, I wanted the second Call Armies, which is below, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. When are we going to get there? Down there. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. I think it requires the first one. But you don't have to have the third and fourth ones. Anyway, so unique armors, pretty much like it says, it adds this to the miscellaneous crafting at the forge so that you can create all of these. And it's pretty good because otherwise there's a lot of these you wouldn't be able to create, and you can create ones like Spellbreaker. I believe you can create ones that don't have an enchant. Pretty sure. If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure you can create ones that don't have an enchant. The Nightingale armor, I can create both enchantable and already enchanted. This doesn't say. See, I think this is all unenchanted. Yep. So, anyway, I think all this is unenchanted, and then I have another mod that allows me to create it, and it comes out as if it's already enchanted. This is just what it says. Everybody will drop down to the underwear when they go to bed. I did it because I thought it was funny, and I still think it's funny to walk up to somebody while they're laying there. Anyway, it's silly, but appropriate somehow. Call armies too. If you ever see any of my videos or streams that have Daisy and the chicken, this is where that chicken comes from. This basically calls a Dremora army, and let's see, he describes it very well here, he or she, I'm assuming it's a he. And the big leader of the army is this Zaster Krulag, the Destroyer. And if you kill him, then you will get, as a reward, you will get a spell that allows you to summon the chicken. And it's Zaster Krulag as the chicken. And the chicken has like all the power of Zaster Krulag. Which that's how I originally made Daisy, was just to be a joke. She was just going to wander around, and the chicken was going to fight everything for her, which worked great. The only thing was the chicken ended up not being able to fight the chicken's not able to fight dragons very well, so I had to make Daisy a bit more of a warrior. So anyway, so that's fun. You can summon Zaster Krulag. Sorry, I moved that. You can summon Zaster Krulag, and he will continue to summon, I think, more of his guys. Or you can do the Dremora army even without Zaster Krulag. But anyway, I've never known the chicken to die, even though he mentions that he could possibly get killed, but never happened to me. Alright, anyway, I think that's a lot of fun. It's another little joke mod that I like. This is no friendly fire for the amazing follower tweaks. If you have multiple followers, they won't hurt each other and get mad at each other. I used to have problems with my followers fighting each other, so this fixed that. Let's see, free crafting. Basically, it's just like it says. All the base vanilla items in the game become free. You can just walk up to the forge. You don't have to have any special skill or anything, and you can create the base vanilla item. You may not have the perk to do anything else with it, but you can at least create the base vanilla item right off the bat. I don't use that a lot, but I'll explain why. However, I keep it because a lot of times I just want to create something quickly for whatever purpose I'm going to use it for, and I don't want to have to go find the mats and stuff. So it's very easy. You don't have to have any materials to create anything. And you can actually, for any modded items that need materials, you can actually, this also allows you to create stuff at like the smelter and things. It allows you to create ingots for free, and at the leather working, the hide tanning rack, it allows you to create leather and leather strips for free. So it's very good in that sense. Then, just in case for other reasons I want crafting supplies, this is the mod that I use that has all my crafting supplies. It's all in Whiterun. Sometimes I wish I had the option of having those elsewhere, but it's okay. All the chests are in Whiterun, and it's easy to just go to Whiterun and get them. So it's not that big a deal. But it has a chest for everything except for the food bag is in the Bannered Mare. It's not a chest, it's like a bag, big sack. And it has all the food stuff. But it tells where everything is, and It's right on, and it works. If you want to get all the enchanting spells, go to this enchanting chest. It'll be up where Farragar is in Dragon's Reach, and you just grab everything out of that chest, which is a bunch of it's a bunch of soul gems too. And just go to the enchanter and just break all the items, disenchant them, and you'll have all the enchants in the game. You may not have the skill to actually do everything enchanting-wise that you want, but you at least know all the enchants, which I use it for a lot for that convenience. Craftable clothing. This adds all the clothing. Well, I'm going to say maybe not 100%, but a really high percentage, 90-some% of the clothes in the game are added to the tanning rack, and you can create these clothes. Usually require some leather. Shoes or boots a lot of times require some wood or something, and maybe some nails. No enchantment restrictions. This just allows you to not have enchantment restrictions like on your armor, so that you could actually put in the vanilla game they limit you, like your boots can only have certain enchantments, your chest can only have certain enchantments. This frees that up, so it's more like Oblivion style enchanting. If you want to put carry weight enchants on all your armor, you can. If you want to put fortify health on all of them, you can. That type of thing. I like that convenience too, because I never understood why they changed enchanting so drastically, but whatever. Superhuman jumping, just what it says. You can jump 10 times as high. You have to be careful. If you get over enthusiastic and you jump really high and then you land much lower than what you were, you will die. Like, let's say you're going to jump off the roof of a house and you're going to land in the street below. If you jump really high and land in the street below, maybe 10 or 20 feet down, you could very easily die or at least be wounded. So, I mean, it's a great thing. You'll see me use it a lot. I like it, but you do have to be a little careful because you can kill yourself pretty easy. Graze dense forest. It just puts these trees everywhere, and I've got it set. I've got the fall one. I'm sure there's other varieties, but for some reason I liked these. They look kind of like river birches in the fall, and I kind of like that. I used to like river birches, so. And then that's not exactly what they are, I'm sure, but it's kind of like that. Magical College of Winterhold. It's just the Mages College that makes it. It just makes it look better. That's really all there is to it. It just makes it look better. It's just nicer. This one is not in place with the others, but this is a special mod that replaces some NPCs. Just like it says, no generic male vampires. It replaces those with females. And if you don't have it lined up right, you can get some very weird effects. You can get an effect where your female vampire has no face and just has like chattery teeth and eyeballs hanging in a void where where her face should be. And it can get a weird gray-blue hair that you can tell is where something's missing. You know the texture is like not there like it should be. So there's some weird effects you can accidentally cause using this. But if you use it, if you go by his load order suggestion, you'll be alright. Then it works fine. I looked at this one time and I just liked those little changes. There's not big changes to Severin Manor, but I think it needed a little more. I think it needed a little work. It's an okay place in vanilla, but for it to be the only real house you get out in Solstheim, it's not very good. Well, it's okay. It's okay. Forgotten Dungeons. I like this mod. It just adds a lot of dungeons to the game. I've been through a lot of these, but not all of them. so I don't want to claim that I've been to all of them. Like Blue Skin Hideout, I don't think I've found that one. And the Rakelin's Nest, I don't think I've found that. Some of these are from out in Solstheim, though. Forgotten River Tomb, it has all these other dungeons that you're seeing listed here. It is huge. It is just really, really huge. And they're telling you here where you can find the keys and stuff. It's a big, complicated thing. But it's fun to do, but you just need a lot of time to do it. Well, if you're me, because I like to mess around. I take forever. Let's see. And then there's a bunch of other forgotten dungeons. Did they not list them? They didn't list the others. Well, anyway, there's a bunch of other forgotten dungeons. Oh, here they do. They list them in this paragraph. You just find these out randomly in Skyrim. It's pretty nice. They're all Radiant quest enabled, so I have had some quests that took me into them, which was cool. Unique bridges, just like it says. I like it. It's compatible with these other things. I think this is a Tarshana mod. But I like these bridges, so I kept them. Easier Riders Dungeon Pack, similar to Forgotten Dungeons, just smaller, fewer, but you can see their dungeons there. The ones I've been in, Shatterstone Mine, Stonehill Refuge, and Steam Crag Springs, those are all good. I liked all those. I'm not familiar with Kalbad's Rest or Valasker. I don't think I've been to either of those, but I don't think there's been any further updates to this in some time, but it's nice. It's good. It works. So haven't had any troubles. Cheat room. Cheat room, there's a lot of things you can do in cheat room. I could about do a whole thing just on cheat room. I think I started to do that one time. Occasionally he adds updates to it, so I mean it's not totally like a dead mod or anything. I mean, it's been a while since he's added updates, but he does. So one of the things I do when I start a character is I go to cheat room and I zero out all my skills so I can actually start leveling from 0 on everything. And then the exceptions is I bump my smithing, my alchemy, and my enchanting to 100. So I won't level with them at all, but they'll be maxed out. So I'll be able to create anything I want in the game, potion-wise, weapon and armor-wise. I'll be able to create whatever I want, but I won't level from it. And I will just level from playing the game and actually fighting and killing and things like that. It does give you a little bit of an edge to begin with. It makes you pretty powerful, but it's still fun that way. And the game is going to level and catch up with you as you level, because you're not going to get much more powerful than what you are. If you have all that good gear in the beginning. And you don't have to use the best gear. You can just start with something you like and then ever so often upgrade your gear. Either way, it just keeps me from leveling unnecessarily while I'm doing my forging or doing my potions or whatever. Sometimes I don't want to level from those. In the vanilla game when I'm playing and that happens, it's fine. But in this modded game, it's not the best. Now, there's a lot more you can do with that. This has like almost every item in the game. It has all kinds of stuff that you can do. So, like I say, there's a lot. You would have to teleport to it and really check it out. It gives you everything you need to go back and forth. And it can be like a mobile home where you just use it as your home. It's got everything in it that you would need if that's what you're going to do, including storage. So. However, speaking of that type of thing, this is the only player home mod that I have. It's your home. And I just really like this one because it has a lot of mannequins and a lot of display cases and things. Plus it has all the crafting and all the shrines. Yeah, all the shrines, including Nocturnal down in the basement. So it's really good. It has everything you need. It has one person in your home that is a vendor for you to sell to. You can buy from her too, but I don't. Anyway. Then we have Lampposts of Skyrim. I like that because I like having the lampposts on the road. I just think it looks cool. Hall of Ceremony, it's just a single dungeon, but it's pretty good size, and it is, with the mods I have, it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. Forgotten Crypt. Shoot, I'm trying to remember if I've been in this one, or if I still need to test it. Southeast of Riften. I bet I need to test it. Maybe that's something we should go do. But this is my armor replacer I'm using. This is Spartan's. I actually like this one, the LBE one, better than the other one, because this one, it's like he did even more stuff. I mean, he just did everything, and it's a lot. It's really a nice. This is really a nice one. So that's my armor replacer right now. This is Viking armors. All the rest of these that are coming up here, these are all armor mods. Now these are additions, unless I say otherwise. These are, I think all of these are additions. The Viking armors, I mainly use that for Sif and her outfit. The one weird thing about this is there's no boots in this mod, which is dumb. And they say to use the hide boots. I don't think the hide boots really fit. What I ended up doing for Sif was I actually used the Dawn Guard gloves and boots. And they seem to work and look right with her Viking outfit. It also includes some dresses and stuff, but I really, if you look at Sif, I really use that mainly for her. There could be other uses in the future though. The Draconic Bloodline armor, it's mainly just an armor. I consider it for casters. There is more to it than just that though. There's actually, is there like 3 main styles and then different colors? And some of it is not necessarily like just for casters. I think some of it's more of light armor that you could actually use. So you could check it out and see if you like it. Depends on what you like. I usually use the like what the person in the picture is wearing, the caster type. I can't think of anyone else. I think I usually put that on on a follower, so they can, and they're usually the healer. So, this is from, I think this is from Warhammer. Excuse me, it is. It's from the Warhammer universe. It's it comes in red and blue, and there's actually 2 variations. One is just ceremonial, and the other is not. I don't know. There's only a slight visual difference. But then it does come in red and blue, and it's a nice suit of armor. This is the Mystic Elven armor and weapons. You can get this in a replacer, and all your high elves will use this instead of the standard elven armor. But I didn't get the replacer. I just wanted the option to put my guy or a follower in this. And you will probably see it at some point, possibly with Crom later on. This is a little elven suit or set of armor. It's really like full. I don't know. I like the look of it. I don't know what the purpose really is, but I like the look of it because it looks like I had Daisy using it for a long time because it just looked like she was just wearing a normal outfit and she was just out running around, with the chicken. So I may even go back to that at some point. This is the dragon carved armor, which is what I have Crom in, which I like. It's just a good suit of armor. It and the sword and stuff is a little less than the dragon bone, but it's definitely good enough for me to just play around with and enjoy. This is a different armor that I would consider using for a follower, or if I was playing a girl. I guess any of these, if I was playing a girl, I would consider them, because I do sometimes play some girl characters. But I'm just thinking of Crom's game right now. So anyway, I thought this was a pretty cool set. It comes in a couple of different colors. This is the Siren Ritter, which comes in some different variations as well. And it's pretty good. It's nice. And this can be, it can be a full bodysuit type of thing, full coverage, or it can be very slim pickings. I usually am trying, well, it varies, because I have used the bathing suit variety, and then I have used the full bodysuit variety. And it comes in some different colors, red and black. There's a purple version, there's an all black version. I think that's it. This is a pirate looking outfit. I just like it. It looks cool. So I try to keep it at some point. I think my Nocturnal user will probably use this. I'm just taking my time. I should probably... Actually, we'll probably do a change. We've been using the same armors, and we're almost to level 20. Maybe at level 20 we'll make a change. This is one of my favorite, and it's a little mod, but it's one of my favorite little armors. It's only two... there's really only two options, white and black, but it's a nice looking little armor. It has no helmet, no shield, but it has gloves, boots, and the, well, you know how Skyrim is. When I say the chest piece, it has the armor, legs and chest. So, Blades Light Armor, again, small mod, nice mod. There's a couple of different variations, but none of them have anything to do with the color of the armor. It's just variations on body type. Since your body, the body of whoever you put this on, will just be whatever the armor's body type is. I mean, it's fine. This is another small mod, and I like this armor. And it actually does have a helmet. It still doesn't have a shield. But it's another good one. One of my favorites too. And this is the little clothes that I have Daisy in. It's just a little boot and dress type outfit. It's silly, but that's because Daisy runs around with a chicken. She's probably due a clothing change too. This is Thor's hammer, which I've been using for Sif. I may, depending on what I do after Crom here, I may do a Thor-like character, or I may just go back and finish Sif. I don't know. Finish her adventures if her game is not corrupted. This is truly light glass armor. It's just fitted to the Seraphim body, and it just looks really good compared to the vanilla glass. I think it looks really good. Armored Circlets. I was using a different circlet mod, but this one allows you to make the standard circlets and armored circlets, meaning that your circlets will have armor, and you can even temper them, and you can still enchant them. So, and it's light and heavy armor versions, so you can use it for either. I thought that was nice. I was having trouble getting a copy of Nocturnal's clothes, so I found this mod. I threw it in. I can now make Nocturnal's clothes if I want to. Is it a big deal? Will I ever use it? I don't know, but I just like to have the option. If I wanted to make that for a follower, or even a caster that I wanted to do, I don't know. This just makes the Elven Light Armor and the Ebony Mail Armor craftable, which they're normally not. So this just makes it possible for you to do that. Okay, back to the no generic NPC replacers. This replaces a lot of the male bandits in the game. Not all, but a lot of them. Same here for Forsworn. And this replaces the Hag Ravens with Ravens. He has a line there where he thinks this might break the Companion's quest line. I think one time I completed the Companion's quest line with this and didn't have any trouble, but I know that on Sif's game, the Companion's quest line is stuck, kind of broke. I may try to get past that, but I may just start her over and just not do the Companion's quest line. I really don't like the fact that the minute you become a werewolf, you lose any benefit from sleeping anyway. So anyway, but the Ravens look much better than the Hag Ravens. And they're not, just like some of the Hag Ravens, occasionally there's one or two that you kind of do a quest for. You will run into that with these two. Anyway, and you can get one that can be a follower. So, then there's male giants, again replaced with giantesses or female giants, however you want to say that. I did get this, the enhanced Atronax. It improves Atronax. Atronax in the game just seemed like largely a waste because they just, anyway, they just weren't very powerful. And this just tries to help make them better. It makes them better for you if you summon them, and it also makes them better for the bad guys against you. So it's pretty even. Immersive winches. Matter of fact, let's just look at the winches mods together here. Okay. These are definitely a core part of my game. I wouldn't give up because they add a lot to the game as far as there's some quests that they add. They add the winches. They add followers. It adds quite a bit to it, and you can read here about what it adds as far as barmaids and stuff. But it also adds some quests. And it adds winches that you can save, and they will become your follower. That type of thing. And then judgment winches. These are like Dwemer, armed, hateful women that will kill you. And there's also a number of other things other than just them. They've also added some more little robots and stuff. It's pretty cool. Deadly winches is more like this can be any woman. This can be any soldier, any bandit, any forsworn, vampire, anything. They can be just more powerful, be deadly. Forgotten winches, these are with the Falmer, and they are really a pain because they really summon a lot of Falmer and bugs and stuff. So that's life, but that's what it is. I probably should turn down their spawn because they spawn so many that it overloads my game occasionally. Nonetheless, then there's hateful winches, and they're with the Draugrs, and they too can summon some more Draugrs, but they don't usually overload me. It's the forgotten winches that seem to be a little big on overloading me. Anyway, all these are they add a level of difficulty to the game, and it's fun. It's kind of like with the dragons and that mod. This is the only real follower pack I'm always keeping, because it's very small and it's just clones of the females listed there. You can easily grab one of them if you need a follower and you don't want to go through the trouble of getting any other follower. They're right in, let's see, most of them are in Dragon's Reach. The one is in Riverwood. I don't know why the one is in Riverwood. Well, he had made a lot of other followers that were in Riverwood. And he has some other small follower packs too that you could look into. So I have merchants and inns, and Ashar merchants and traders, and they're in inns, and these are very helpful if you need to sell a lot of stuff. And in the vanilla game, you know that can be a bit of a pain. But in this game, with these, I can usually sell everything all the time. One of the Ashara merchants usually has 30,000 gold, so it's usually not a problem. Okay, so here are what I'm calling other encounter mods. These two have to do with dungeons and increasing the population of dungeons, and like the Genesis one, this dynamically increase, it can repopulate a dungeon for you. Like if you leave a dungeon or if you move through the levels, sometimes when you go back to the previous level, it will repopulate it with more bandits or whatever. It won't do it all the time. There is a percentage chance. It's not going to always happen. I think I haven't tested out as far as when you clear a dungeon and come back. I don't know what the percentage chance is that will happen. I should probably look at the little book for it. This is kind of a bit more static in that it adds, well, if you read the description, it adds enemies to certain locations. It just adds them in to those locations. So, you know, it says about 300 enemies. It just adds them into where they should be. So it's not got any, I don't think, any randomness or scripting or anything. And then this is a surface spawns version of like this. What this does for dungeons while you're traveling on the surface, you can occasionally get attacked by some bandits. It's usually, I think the way I have it set, it's usually like 5 bandits or something. This is a mannequin replacer. This makes all the mannequins in my game female, and it makes them look like Jarl Elisif. So that's really all it does. There's a couple other replacers you can use, but that's the one I ended up with. This is pretty much what it says. It's KS hairdos. This is the light version because the full version is huge, and I don't need that many hairdos for anything anyway. This adds plenty enough for what I'm doing. Then there's a couple of mods here that don't exist anymore. They are what make all my NPCs, especially the women, look so good. It gives them a pretty face and nice hair, so that they don't look like the usual hags you see in vanilla Skyrim. That's really the only way I know to say it. I don't think that would be a big surprise to you. The Botox winches one, it affects the winches that are added from the immersive winches. This updates them to look as good as the others in the NPC overhaul. Now, one mod that's not affected by that, though, or at least from what I've seen, it doesn't appear to be affected, is the population mod that they said to put way up here, so it's way up here. These are added, but they don't appear to be affected by those two appearance mods. I don't really mind that. That's fine. They still look good enough. But, just saying. For some reason, they don't appear to be affected. So, I went too far, didn't I? Well, that's okay. So then next, this is the guy's body. It's kind of a, a good muscular He-Man type of body, I guess, or superhero type of body. This is the mesh for the women. Really, it doesn't. I've gotten to the point where this doesn't even matter. Because really the body is going to look like whatever armor you put them in. And if that armor is fitted to whatever body, that's how they're going to look. It's the opposite of what anybody with any sense would expect it to be. Because I would expect your clothing to fit to your body, but in Skyrim they do it the opposite. Your body is squished in and fits to the armor. So, whatever. That's fine. It's a different way of doing things. It's not what we would have thought of. So anyway, since this is a small body mesh. I've just kept it. I was really hoping that Spartan would. Is it Spartan Wolf? It might be Spartan Wolf. Anyway, I was hoping he would do the armor for this body the same as he did the other. But now maybe I'll just switch it up. Who knows? It's a little mod to supposedly improve the appearance of the mouth and teeth. Sometimes I'm not sure if I see a difference, but I think I do. But sometimes I'm not sure. Natural eyes. That's a nice little mod. This is a vanity kit. It gives you more skin colors, hair colors, makeup colors. I've used it a little bit, and it's nice, so I keep it for the option. These are both presets for females. This one is really mostly all Nord, and this one has other races other than just Nord. You know, the Bretons and such. Supposedly, if I have them in this order, it'll work. But if I have any trouble, I'll have to blow away the concept one, which is just for Nords, because I like this one just a little more, because it has presets for all the different races. I like the Better Male presets. Crom was directly created off of one of these. These are skin textures just to make your people look better. It's a texture replacer just to make them look good. This is that animation patch for the KS hairdos if you have that. This is the best map. I don't know why we didn't have a map like this to begin with rather than the vanilla map, which is extremely difficult to use. And then this, what is this? This is clear. It removes all clouds, right? This removes all the clouds. So not only is this map better anyway, but this removes this clears the map skies. It clears all the clouds so that you can see all the roads and everything. It doesn't mean you can fast travel everywhere, but you can at least see your map and you have a real map. This is alternate start. I don't know what happened to the image there, but this is how I start. Anybody new is I always use alternate start, so I don't have to go back through the whole Helgen thing unless I just want to. This is because I prefer the black underwear over, let's see, this red. This red just looked too weird, and even if I change the body mesh, if they're not using, I just prefer a basic black. It doesn't look as weird, even though it makes the body look different though, because then again it makes them look like Seraphim. Maybe I should just use Seraphim, but like I say, I don't think the mesh matters anymore because the armor, the underwear, everything overrides it. So this is the skeleton that you need for different animations and for the ragdoll physics and stuff. Like when the dragons blow me around and I bounce around and twist around like a pretzel. This is the BBP animations thing. This just allows, I have to have it, I think, or is it this I have to have? Maybe I have to have both, because the armor has that built into it, so you have to have that if you use that. And then this is invisible helmets, so everybody's not wearing their helmet all the time. This is the color patches remover. That color patch is just it's an issue even in the vanilla game. So, and this just is a weird way of removing it. These are two makeovers for one for Valerica and one for Uthgard, because I can't find any other version of them that actually looks better than these two makeovers. Even in my special replacer here, they don't look as good as they do from these two makeovers. And yeah, that picture looks awful on Valerica, but actually the picture doesn't look great on either. But both of them look better in the game than any other option I've found. It's very subjective, but it's just me. Then this will allow you to drop, sell, or otherwise get rid of all your quest items, so you have to be careful about that. But if you're like me, you don't always want to have a zillion quest items in your bag forever. This is an idol that just keeps them from spinning if you've ever seen the girls just stand around and spin, the spin, where does the spin come from? Does it come from this? I was trying to find, where the spinning comes from. Well, anyway, the spinning comes from one of these. And basically, if you don't like it, you just use a different idle replacer, and it gets rid of the spinning that the girls do. That's it's kind of silly for them to stand around and just spin for no reason. So anyway, doesn't really matter. All right, so that's what that does. It just adds a little idle, so they'll stand there with their hands. You know, they'll kind of look more realistic. This makes Azure. Blah. I've talked too long. Sorry. Hold on a second. I think my coffee's getting cold. It's cold. I'll have to warm it up. Anyway, this makes Azura's shrine a lot bigger. It is really big, and you can see it from a lot of places, which is cool, but it's kind of funny at the same time. But I keep it because I like it. It's small, and it's fun. This is just what it says. Rich merchants. All your merchants will have 10,000 gold. And this allows you to create a light version of the blade shield. And that's really it. That's all my mods. I'm not going to link all these. If there's anything that anybody's interested in particular, let me know. And I'll add the links for those. But for right now, I'm going to have to go. I'm dry anyway. And I think I need to get off here and warm up my coffee and get some more liquid, okay? Alright, so hope that's been helpful. Thank you for watching.